Hemophilia is a rare disorder in which the blood does not clot in a typical way because it does not have enough blood clotting protein. If you have hemophilia, you might bleed for a longer time after injury when you would, if you have that injury and if your blood is not actually clotting properly. Now, small cuts are usually aren't much of the problem. But if you have a severe form of condition, the main concern is bleeding inside your body, especially in your knees, in your ankles and elbows. And internal bleeding can actually damage your organ, tissues, and it is life-threatening. Now, hemophilia is primarily categorized into two main inherited types, hemophilia A, hemophilia B, but also include other rare inherited form and some are acquired. One is acquired type. The classification based on which the specific blood clotting factor is missing or we can say deficient. So hemophilia A actually, which actually determines the deficient factor, and it is called factor 8. But you can there's any prevention of this, but no, at the moment till today it was not there. And with this hemophilia, 80% cases they suffer with hemophilia A. And when we talk about genetics, it is an X-linked recessive disorder, meaning it is primarily affect the male. Now, when we talk about hemophilia B, and then the clotting factor which is deficient is 9, and this very common in as you know that hemophilia A is very common, but this hemophilia B is also have impact of around 15 to 20% of the cases. Now, there is genetics related also when we talk about this, because this is a receptive disorder, and primarily again this affect the males in this disease. The hemophilia C, which is again a factor deficient, and it is 11. Generally, this is how medical terms is being determined. And there's a difference between when we talk about hemophilia A, hemophilia B. It is much rare. Often present in as a milder bleeding disorder, and its inheritance pattern is autosomal, and that is it's not linked with the sex. It can happen to female, it can also happen to males, and generally it is little different because bleeding usually occurs after surgery or trauma. And there is also one option, or we can the type of hemophilia which is acquired, and it is really very rare, and it is non-inherited disorder. The body's immune system mistakenly produce specified antibodies, and that attacks the neutralize one of the clotting factor, most often factor 8. So generally hemophilia typically actually start at adulthood. And it is not related to any kind of genetics. Now, when we are discussing this, you should be happy because there is a new life for the patient. In a current scenario, India's gene therapy has triumphed over hemophilia. The world of Indian medical research, it is buzzing with excitement following a truly monumental announcement. The first successful indigenous clinical trial for hemophilia treatment using gene therapy. This isn't just a clinical success, it is a massive leap towards self-reliance in cutting-edge medical technology and beacon of hope for thousands of the patients. What makes this historical breakthrough? Hemophilia is a debilitating genetic disorder produced by a lack of crucial blood clotting protein, factor 8 or factor 9, acquired patient to undergo frequent, expensive, lifelong factor replacement injection. This indigenous trial, however, signals a path of functional cure. Then, when we talk about the functional cure potential, instead of managing the condition with a constant infusion, gene therapy works by delivering a corrected copy of faulty genes into patient's liver cells. These cells then start producing missing clotting factor and effectively turning body into its own factor factory. Now, definitely, this is an indigenous innovation. The success marks a paradigm shift from India, developing a successful trial such as advanced therapy entirely within the country means. And one more effective aspect is reduction of the cost, because many patients who are suffering with hemophilia, it is a drastic lowering of the financial burden of future treatment and its potential accessible to the wider segment of population. You should be very happy because this gives a platform of self-reliance. It showcases India's capability to lead in complex biotechnological domain, reducing dependence on expensive import therapy. Impact of quality of life, definitely somebody who is a patient, actually the required quality of life for patient, this is truly transformative. This means freedom from the constant threat of bleeding episode, reducing risk of joint damage, and the end of regular restrictive factor of infusion, paving way for a near normal quality of life. Now, what lies ahead? While this is a cause of celebration, it also opens some important discussion about the future of medicine in India. Now, as you know, the India is a vast country. There's a lot of people. Population is high comparatively to other rest of the countries. So scalability and access, that is a very, very crucial aspect of this medicine. How quickly this gene therapy be scaled up to reach the large number of hemophilia patients across India, especially in rural areas. And definitely when there's a new invention, we also require a regulatory framework. Our India's regulatory bodies are prepared for the fast-paced emergence of genetics and cell therapy, ensuring safety without actually stifling innovations. The talent and infrastructure, definitely you should be appreciated that we have a vast talent, but talent also required access to the innovation and at the same time infrastructure. What more need to be done to invest in the scientific talent and high-tech infrastructure required to make India's global hub for gene therapy researching and manufacturing? A part of this, because it involves medical innovation, it also involves consideration of whole mankind. So ethical considerations are on the top. As genetic therapy become more common, what ethical guidance need to be firmly established regarding their use? So this is definitely a pivotal moment. India is moving from being a receptive of advanced medical technology to becoming a powerful creator. So what are your thoughts on this indigenous breakthrough? How do you see gene therapy changing the landscape of chronic disease management in India and in the next decades? So I look forward for your comments. I'll be meeting again with the most very thought-provoking episode next time. See you. All the best.